Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had Wild Wild Pussycats, where we headed off to the training camp, and on our way there, we stopped off, met our new trainers, the Wild Wild Pussycats, being Pixie-Bob and Mandalay, and then they, Class 1A, realized that they would have to fight their way to the training ground through the Beast Forest, which was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a pretty cool fight. We also met up with the cousin of the Pussycats, the kid named Kota, who seems to have a thing against heroes, and for good reason, because we did learn his backstory, that his parents were heroes that were murdered by a villain, and so he doesn't understand why anyone would want to be a hero. And we also got some bath time shenanigans as well, which were pretty funny, and yeah. You may also notice we are in a different location from where we normally are. That is mainly because if you've seen any of my other videos that I put out this week, you will know that things are changing up in the room, and because of that, just for videos this week, we are going to have to do this basically at the desk instead of the normal table. But next time, we will be back at the normal table. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever, and this is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction, forgot the word for a sec. If you want to watch my reaction to this episode of My Hero Academia, it is unfortunately not in this video due to copyright issues that I've had in the past. So what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment, and that will take you to the reaction. It's just one link away, and you can just watch it and pretty much like a normal reaction. But when you're done watching that reaction, I do encourage you to hop right back over to this YouTube video for the discussion, which is gonna start up any minute. So you can go ahead and pause this, watch the reaction, come back, unpause, and watch the discussion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of My Hero Academia. Here we go. Alrighty, episode 3, man, already we're getting into the villains, man. Oi, and Aizawa's with the Remedial students. I didn't see if the Class 1B teacher is there, but oh boy, that is pretty crazy. Alright. So that was a pretty good episode. It's interesting that this episode was called Kota, because it didn't have like with a title like that, I would have assumed that we would have had a big Kota episode, but it really wasn't. But overall, we did get some stuff with Kota, so that was pretty good. But yeah, okay. We can go ahead and hop right into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is break yourself. Which I could have put yourself, but I didn't feel like it, so I just put break yourself. So yeah, it's honestly the training on these 2 days. So this is day 2 and day 3 together. The training for these 2 days is honestly just break yourself, push past your limits, which is pretty interesting. So we get a lot of that with how everyone is doing that. Bakugo is putting his hands in boiling water to create more sweat and create giant explosions. That was pretty cool. Todoroki is having to... this one was pretty interesting. Todoroki has to regulate the temperature of the water he's in. And in order to do that, he is causing these giant ice and fire explosions, basically. So maybe he'll be able to get a bit more precise. And they even said, maybe he'll be able to use both at the same time. Which, yeah, I guess that's true. He's never really used both. It's always been sort of one after the other. I like Sero just producing so much tape. Ida's running like crazy. Kaminari, that's it. Kaminari is creating as much electricity as he can. Kota is screaming his head off, basically, which is pretty funny. Aoyama is doing as many gigantic naval bursts as he can. Let's see. I love... I do like that instead of, for Tokoyami, instead of doing like, well, you know, he's in the light, so he's trying to figure out how to, you know, have Dark Shadow be more powerful during the light. Instead, he's in the darkness, and he's trying to control Dark Shadow instead. I thought that was pretty interesting, because they don't really do too much with the dark, you know, aspect of Dark Shadow that much. So that was pretty cool. And I also love the entire episode. He's just like, revelry in the dark. It's like, are you okay? You know? I love, again, sort of similar to Aoyama with, you know, trying not to upset his stomach so much. Same goes for Uraraka, who's trying to, you know, keep herself in zero gravity and overcome her limitation. Because that has always been her limit, is that if she uses her power too much, you know, she totally hurls. I think that's what they originally said. So, yeah. I like Sato is having to lift weights while eating a bunch of stuff. And kind of the same thing goes for Yaoyorozu, which we did learn a bit more about Yaoyorozu's quirk, is that she uses, like, I guess body fat, technically, in order to create these, all these objects. So in order to do that, she does have to eat a lot. So maybe that's why she's fucking thick, you know? She's got a damn good body, so I guess that's it. You know, she's gotta kind of keep that up. But I guess every time she creates something, then she would get a little skinnier. God, that'd be nice. If I could get rid of this gut by just creating crap, that'd be amazing, man. Oh, I like that power. So yeah. So see, her sexiness works on multiple levels. Like, she needs, you know, the exposed skin in order to create stuff. She also needs to be a little thick, you know, in order to create stuff too. So, you know. And she's intelligent and rich and brunette, and god damn, I swear they made this character just for me. Let's see. Ashido is creating a bunch of acid, which is funny. I like when they cut over to Jiro, and she's just beating the hell out of a rock with her earphone jacks. You know, that's so fun. This whole thing, when they show up and see all them, is just so hilarious. Shoji's making multiple appendages at once, and Hagakure's working on her stealth. Which, honestly, probably of them all, Hagakure's probably got the easiest one, because she just has to be more stealthy, you know? So, that's really funny. And it's cool to see Class 1B there, too. And then we also got the other two pussycats, which is pretty cool. So, last episode I had just assumed that Kota's parents were the other two pussycats, because they said there were 4. But that's not true. They were other heroes, basically, as Midoriya said. And they were 2 other heroes, as Midoriya said. And we have these 2. Which, let me go ahead and get, like, their quirks, basically, real quick. The big guy is a little weird, but, yeah, whatever floats his boat. I mean, the guy is so crazily drawn. Cool. Pixie-Bob has Earth Flow. Mandalay's just a telepath. I love that Mandalay's power has nothing to do with being a cat. Honestly, none of them have anything to do with being a cat. It's like, nothing. You know, one of them is an earthbender. One of them can just look at you and know everything about you. One of them is just a telepath, you know, Professor X or Jean Grey. She just is a cat. And then, you know, Tiger, he's just a big muscular dude, but he's a cat. There's no reason for these 4 people to be pussycats, but they are. They have a theme, and by God, they are sticking with it, and I love it. So, yeah, that was funny. That was really funny that just the 4 of them are funny, that they are these, you know, pussycats. They have this very specific theme, but none of them have a quirk that goes with this theme, you know? Like, maybe the only thing I could think is, what was her name? No. Ragdoll. Ragdoll is the only one I could think possibly could be related to a cat, just because I'm thinking of, anytime a cat will just stare at you, just with these eyes, And it's like, okay, maybe I could see, because she looks at people and knows everything about them, So maybe I could see some sort of connection to a cat there. But other than that, there's really nothing that connects these people to cats. But they have a very specific theme, and you know what? They rock it. So, good for them. Let's see. Big thing this episode is we get a bit more of, I guess, Kota's mindset. And so it's not just that he doesn't like heroes, but he doesn't like quirks in general, which is pretty interesting. Makes you wonder if he has one. I would assume so. I would assume that he does have a quirk because, they kind of panned over and they showed that giant, crater there. So it could also be why, ooh, man, how hard of a punch was that to Deku's nuts last episode then? Ooh, that's pretty crazy then. Man, if Midoriya wasn't as buff and trained as he is, that punch could have been a lot worse, So, yeah, perhaps Kota has some sort of superpower. I don't know. Maybe he actually has the superpower quirk, like how Midoriya's quirk is described, on official paperwork and stuff. Instead of one for all, it's just written as superpower, but they pretty much write it off as almost the same thing power-wise. So that would be interesting if they actually met someone who has the superpower quirk, Maybe. That'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, he doesn't like any quirks whatsoever, which is pretty interesting. And Midoriya did try to, talk to him about the quirks and stuff. And he tried to relate the whole thing of, him being quirkless when he started off. But he can't exactly say that was him anymore, Because that would be weird. People would be questioning, well, then how do you have a quirk? Which, honestly, if Kota ever actually found out that Midoriya, was given this quirk, that might be worse to Kota. It's like, oh, maybe he would think you were, blessed enough not to have a quirk, but then you took a quirk, you got a quirk from someone, how bad is that, to Kota? But I doubt they'll ever, get into that. But, yeah, that was pretty interesting. I kind of want to go back and listen to maybe a bit more of it, just to make sure I get everything.
I was wondering, were they the water hose heroes with the water quirks?
Did I tell you?
No, it's
It's interesting he says the water quirks. Didn't Manuel have a water quirk too? I guess there can be a bunch of water quirks, so that's pretty cool.
Well, sorry, but I heard a little about what happened to them. And based on that information, I remember reading about that horrible incident a few years ago.
Go away. Everyone here's so crazy. Calling people stupid names like hero and villain and then killing each other because of it. Always focusing on their quirks. If they hadn't been showing off, they'd still be here. Idiots.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Heroes. Kota hates quirks.
He's kind of like a Mon, honestly.
For human society.
He hates powers like that.
Go back to camp with the other losers.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting that he just hates quirks. He sees quirks as the problem, because everyone is showing off. But you have to think, okay, if there weren't any quirks, honestly, this would still be happening. There would still be criminals and police officers that would be going after, the criminals. So, if anything, it would still be the same, honestly. It's just that now everyone has a superpower. But he doesn't see it that way. He sees it more as, because people have quirks, that's why this happened. They were trying to show off, Everyone is trying to show off with their quirk, basically. So, again, you do still understand where he's coming from, because of how young he is and how, this is how he interprets quirks, basically. So, you get it. And I do like when Midoriya was like, oh, well, is All Might going to be here? Because he's thinking, well, maybe All Might could, talk to him about this. But then I do like that that it's like, okay, you need to do this by example, not by your words. He's not gonna care about your words, but he has to see your example, and maybe we'll get that in the next episode if Midoriya or someone else saves Kota. Maybe he'll change his mind, but we'll have to see. I wrote down the Remedial group. That was pretty funny that they said that they have extra lessons, basically, which we knew about since the finale, that that group had that group was going to have different lessons, basically a bunch more harder lessons, and that means that they have lessons until 2:00 in the morning with Aizawa, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I kind of feel bad about that, but at the same time, it's like, well, I mean, they kind of deserve it for failing. And I also like that that Aizawa says that even though Aoyama and Uraraka passed, they passed by the skin of their teeth. So they technically are kind of remedial as well. So yeah, I wrote down scares. So I don't fully understand this. So they were going to do, the whole mission is scares. All right, let me listen to it again.
With me tonight instead. So, your training during the day didn't impress me, so I'll be using this time. Give me a break! I just want to prove my courage!
Okay, so Class B is going to start out as our scarers. When they're in place, Class A will leave in pairs every 3 minutes.
Okay.
Tags with your names on them at the far end of the route. Your goal is to collect those.
Revelry in the dark.
Why does it keep saying that? Now, those who are scarers aren't allowed to make physical contact. Use your quirks to terrify the others. Get it?
The winners are the creative students who make the most people piss their pants!
Did we need that visual?
I don't get it. I don't get it. So I don't get it. So I thought Class B was the scarers, but the point is also to scare Class B. I don't get it, but it is funny. So, yeah. It's interesting that Bakugo and Todoroki paired up. That he specifically wanted to... Bakugo specifically wanted Todoroki for that. That's kind of interesting, but I don't get it. I don't understand the exercise. Maybe one of you can clear it up for me in the comments. And the last thing I wrote down was the vanguard, which was pretty cool. The way they said that. Let's hear that again. Is it like the vanguard of the
You see that?
League of Villains?
Has something been set ablaze? Maybe a fire on the mountain?
So Dabi, we kind of know a bit of his quirk. He's got some sort of blue flame.
Begins. Take them down.
That guy's got some sort of gas.
The title hero.
It kind of looks like Midnight's quirk, honestly.
The Vanguard Action Squad
The Vanguard Action Squad.
will tear them off their pedestals. First, but
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. The Vanguard Action Squad of the League of Villains. That's a pretty cool name. I like that. And man, Pixie-Bob's been injured. Poor girl. But yeah, so the villains have attacked. There are 10 of them in total, because, they said, well, there's 7 here, but we're expecting 3 more. So there's 10 villains in total, and in total there's only 5 pro heroes there. No, there's 6, sorry. My math is off. Because there's the 4 pussycats, and then Aizawa, and the teacher, the homeroom teacher of Class B. So, which we don't really... I guess we don't know his name or his quirk at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much them. And next episode we will get the attack and see how that goes. So, but yeah, that is pretty much it. Another great episode, another interesting episode. I love these training episodes, and hopefully we get to hopefully we will get the rest of the training episodes, because I feel like, they did kind of skip over a lot of the internship, because, like, what was it, at the end of day 2 was when they fought the hero killer, and then it's like, well, Midoriya's in the hospital, and so we're not going to get any more of him training. So hopefully we get a bit more of the training camp after this attack. But we'll see. We have to see how this attack plays out. This could be very interesting, so yeah. But that's all next episode. So with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of My Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.